Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to SevTech Ages. So, since last episode, right now I'm on the server with Damian Reeve, and I'm still at one death right now. I did almost die. Like, I had about a heart and a half left, and basically what has happened, there was an update. Well, there was a 3.0.2, I believe is the update number, and then 3.0.3, and we didn't update to 3.0.2 until the 3.0.3 update came out because there was some issues with that update. Since the update, I don't particularly know which update it was, but sharks and piranhas now break your raft. They will break your raft, and even if you're not on it, I have a lot of sharks that tend to like beach themselves up on this water right here. They broke my raft earlier and I had to make a new one. Okay, so that's why I have it on the land here, because you can hop on it, and then you can very, very slowly rotate it, and then pull it down into the water. I have it a little bit farther out than really what I need to have it, but, and then you can get in the water with it. Okay, and shift right click to pick it up, and then I stick it right up here, just to make sure the sharks don't eat it. So, which actually I think if I put it, yeah, probably put it like that. That way I don't have to turn it. But anyways, I was going out in the water because I needed more vines, right? And to do so, I crossed this ocean right here and come over to this jungle. And I was about right here, and there was about 7 or 8 sharks following me. And all of a sudden, my raft started taking damage, and I was like, no, like I started freaking out, you know, because the raft starts shaking, and it's actually really terrifying because the sharks will annihilate you. And so I started booking it over to this island. I was probably about 15 blocks away or something when the raft went down. And luckily it drops as an item. It doesn't actually break the raft. The raft gets dropped as an item. And so it was in my inventory. Which, look, I mean, the island had a tree on there, so I mean, I could have made another raft. I happened to have string on me at the time. But I got the raft as an item, so I didn't have to craft another one. But, like, I was literally like a heart and a half left when I got to the shallows, so the sharks couldn't follow me up there. It was terrifying. It was legitimately terrifying. So since then, I actually stay next to the beach when I travel by raft, because I don't want that to happen like in the middle of the ocean, because I will die. And I will have a hard time getting my stuff back. So just a heads up on that. Now over here, I have been working, most of my time has been working on this. I started kind of figuring out exactly where I want the stairs to go, and I actually think I'm going to have it come up here, and you're going to have to cross into this totem, and then there's going to be an exit right here. So these are going to be kind of fenced in, so the bridge, you have to cross to the totem to enter this way, I think. So we've got pumpkins placed out, chili peppers, wheat, carrots. I think it's been about a little over a day since recording the last episode. So I'm recording this right now. It is Thursday morning, early Thursday morning. I also got canola and coffee planted here. I've got a couple little crop areas here that are open. Beets, hemp, all of these are expanded out. Potatoes, carrots, wheat, cotton. And then over here, last episode, if you recall, I planted grapes, and I was all wrong about it. I ended up having, like, they weren't growing, so I had to, like, look it up because I wasn't too familiar with it. What you have to do is you have to craft your stakes, and you put them, it's about a 5 long structure, basically. So you put your stakes down and build them too high, and then you craft this rope from rustic. It's super cheap. 3 string gets you 12 pieces of this. And then you run it across like that, and you run it over the top of the grapes. The grapes are the only part that need to be fertilized. Actually, these just grew. And what's going to happen, it's going to grow up, and it's going to spread to the adjacent blocks. Now, it can only spread, I mean, this is like the maximum size that you can get. Now, I guess technically you could do like a T shape, so you could have ropes connecting over like that, but I think this looks better. It looks kind of like an actual vineyard, and then once these grapes grow, you can just right click to harvest these. And then in addition, over here we have cactus planted, we have sugarcane planted, and I've got aqueducts that kind of run around, and then they cross over to this side and run to about right here. Cocoa beans are planted over here, and I still have to put down vines. I do want a place to harvest vines because they're useful, you know, just to have if you're going to decorate. And I am planning on using vines within this build quite a bit, so I do want to plant those down. And then back over here, I've kind of got just like an array of like random flowers just to kind of add a little bit of variety and some greenery and stuff. But then over here, these are all 2 high flowers, and this includes the 4 vanilla flowers and then a bunch of the Ferdinand's flowers. Because the Ferdinand's flowers that are 2 high, and some of these are really pretty. I love the hawthorn, I love the ornamental cherry, and the quince. They're all really, really pretty. But I love these flowers in general. But all of these that are 2 high, even the manzanita bush, I wish I had realized that back when we were needing those. It is actually a 2 high flower. All of these can be bone milled like vanilla 2 block tall flowers. So I've kind of got just an area here, so if you need flowers, you can kind of pick out what flower you want and just bone mill it. So, and then I've got it, you know, if anybody on the server, of course, everybody, it seems like everybody settled in the south except for me, and I went north. I was like the only person that seems to have went like just straight north. So, I mean, like, spawn is, like, I don't know, right down here or something. Yeah, Hamil, which is Damien. So I think spawn's like right in here-ish. So, everybody else, like, seemed to have went south. Because I know Zverd lives near Damien, I think, if I recall. I don't know. But it seems like everybody went south except for me. So I have, like, all the oceans and everything, like, up here. So I spent a lot of time with that, working on that. I also got another horse, just a white horse. Stats on it aren't great, 2.1 times speed. If you didn't see, it will have been yesterday. It's actually, for me, it's later today, but if you didn't see, I posted a video on the horsepower mod and covering all the ins and outs of that. The speed of the horse does matter. I forgot I made all these leads. I made all these leads, actually. I don't mind making them, but I thought the rope from Rustic, I misunderstood it, and I made leads, and I was trying to, like, run the leads over the stakes and stuff. And then I was like, oh, Rustic has its own rope. Okay. But, yeah. Total dirt moment. It happens. It does happen. But the speed stat on the horse dictates how fast it's going to run those machines. So, and wolves / dogs are about the most efficient, aside from really good horses, with like a speed stat of 3 or higher. Otherwise, the wolves are like the best thing that you can use for running these machines. And then lastly, in addition, if we take a look at our nutrition bar, look at that. That is a beautiful nutrition bar. 99% on everything right now. Now that we have our garden, we can upgrade food, which is exciting. So the food that I am currently making, I'm making melon pie. Oh yeah, I gotta show you the chickens too, or the one chicken. This is 2 melons, which whenever you harvest melons, they drop as blocks, but then you put it in a crafting grid, you get 9 melons. So these go super far. 1 egg and 1 sugar, which sugar is sugar cane. You have to run it through the grindstone. So melon pies, they give you 4% on fruit, and the hunger and saturation boost on those, pretty good. And then in addition, I've been making hearty stew, which requires any kind of meat. That, I don't have cows moved over here. You can't use buffalo for this, by the way. I've just got a bunch of meat lying around, and then I can always go out and get more meat. I've got to get cows moved over. I got to get, dedicated. That's my next thing. I've been working on this garden. That's actually going to lead up. I'll take you over there in just a second to explain it. But I'm going to put down some animal farms and kind of clean these up and make them look a little bit better. And then it requires a carrot, a baked potato, any kind of flour. You can use regular flour or barley flour. Just run it through a grindstone with a horse. 3 mushrooms, which I don't have a dedicated place for those just yet, but I have a lot of swamps around, so it's really easy to go out and get a stack of those in like, 2 or 3 minutes. And then just 5 bulbs. Okay, and you run this through the cauldron. It does require fire beneath it. You can use a flame grilled whopper, but I'm just using a charcoal block because it was cheaper to make. And you just throw all the stuff in there and then it crafts it. Now, one downside is if you have extra carrots in here, you can see I've got a bunch of cooked carrots. Your carrots will keep cooking down. They'll make the stew if you have all the ingredients for the stew, but once you run out of one of those ingredients for the stew, in this case I don't have meat, it cooked all my carrots down and made cooked carrots. So just a heads up. All the rest of the ingredients are fine, but those are not. And then back in here, this is a very temporary setup. I'll make something nicer. But for right now, I just have a chicken back there, and he's sitting on top of a hopper, and it's dropping feathers and eggs into this chest. So just easy, like 5 second automated chicken farm. Because I needed eggs for the melon pies. But you will notice that thanks to our nutrition boost, we now have, for one, we have a constant 20 hearts, which is awesome. And then in addition, we have strength and resistance all the time. So it does make us a lot more survivable, because we have like a few people on the server that are kind of like burning through progression like super fast, and so the mobs that spawn are based on whoever's farthest. So I've been fighting like witches, I've been encountering endermen, I've been encountering loads of creepers and zombies with enchanted gear. I actually had an enchanted pair of legs, but they broke on me. They had protection 2 and unbreaking 2. They were kind of nice, and I was not wanting them to break, but they broke when I got trapped in the water. The sharks broke them. So just a heads up as far as the layout, this right here, we're going to have this kind of come up into like a raised platform, but there's going to be a little walkway right here that leads over to the docks, and we're going to have like a little dock area back here, kind of like our little harbor. And then on the left side, this is going to wrap around slightly and lead over to just a few little dark rooms for fungi, so mushrooms and netherwort and stuff. And then up here, it's going to lead up to our tree nursery. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I think it'll look good once it's done, but I literally spent the whole time just farming, just working on crops, like, well, most of the time. And I wanted to get food sorted because we were still eating berries. Our nutrition was horrible. Now we have good food, and we can stay like fully nutrified like all the time. So, oh, and by the way, if you want to see something funny, I only started recently using like full stone tools, and then in addition, I only recently actually started repairing stuff instead of just throwing it down. But you can actually hold shift over stuff. You can see with this sword I've killed 33 enemies, which is, at one point I repaired it with a stone sword that was dropped by a zombie and it reset the count. But if you take a look at the other tools, stone axe, I have broken with this one axe 1,444 blocks, the pick 680, and the shovel 2,252. I love these item counts. Like, they're pretty cool, and it makes me not want to change tools. I mean, I know inevitably we're going to, but anyways, today I want to start working towards the ore prospecting so we can start getting into a little bit of mining, because that's going to help me keep stockpile on cobblestone and dirt. Especially, I had to go out and get so much dirt between episodes. But before we do that, I would like to get into these two things first: stirring the pot and follow my channel, please. What we're going to do is we're going to set ourselves up a little leather area, because if you recall the last time we made leather, it is a headache. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and just grab I actually set these barrels up. It was kind of funny. I set these barrels up over here, and it was raining, and I was like, why aren't they filling? It's because they're underneath the wing of this. This is another dirt moment on my part. So we're going to grab these, and then let's get ourselves something to put them on, and I actually think I'm going to make some of those slats, right? These things are fairly expensive, like, since they only make like one at a time, but I'm going to need 3 of these. I think we're going to do 3 barrels to start with. I'll just throw that in there, and I'm going to grab, well, actually I'm going to use oak wood, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to set ourselves up a little area, and this is going to be our little leather working area. And it's just going to make making leather so much easier. So we'll put it just right over here, I think. I want to leave that dirt right there. I'll tell you what, we'll put it like right here, in fact. So we'll have oak wood there, and then what we're going to do, we'll put our slats just right across this, just kind of make it look a little bit nicer, because this is eventually going to have like a little fence around it and stuff. And then we'll stick our barrels just right on top of there, and of course those collect rain. I may end up changing that to a different kind of barrel though. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it like that for now. That should be good. And then let's do a rain dance real quick, just so they'll start filling up with water. And you know what? I forgot the drum. Whoops. I have a feeling this one may not work out too well. And you can put the flute in the offhand. I know that was brought up on the Discord. Actually, that's not too bad. There we go. Okay, so it's going to start raining for us. We're going to be setting up a dedicated... I need more leather, but we are going to set up a dedicated... I feel like those are not effectively filling up with water, like, at all. I'm going to let it sit over there and see if it collects any rain. So far, it hasn't collected anything. It's been raining for a minute here. And I just realized I'm going to need to make more of this porcelain clay. I'm going to need like 6 more pieces. I hate making this stuff, by the way. It's so much effort to make this stuff, especially when you're making a lot of it, and I've made a bunch of it. Okay, well there's 6 more pieces of porcelain clay. I'm going to go ahead and get that cooking up real quick. Now I've got 18 pieces right here made up. And let me go ahead and sleep. And then I'm going to check on those water barrels. I really hope they will start filling up. Because I was doing some testing in my test world, and I have a really awesome idea for these things, but of course it stops my rain. Yeah, see, they're not filling up at all. It may have to do with the rain dance, honestly, because it's not like natural rain. Maybe it doesn't work with the barrels. Maybe they only recognize when it naturally rains. By the way, this is a strange thing that happens. It's been happening to everybody, where sticks and stuff will spawn on top of your crafting tables. Anyways, what I want to do is I want to make, well, we'll go ahead and make 3 of these porcelain faucets. And then in addition, I want to go ahead and make some channels, some of these porcelain channels. So just like that, there's 3 of those. And we got the follow my channel please achievement. And then actually let's go ahead and make the other thing that I want to make, which is the basin. The wooden basin, just 5 pieces of wood and sticks. Okay. And there we go. There's our wooden basin. And we got the stirring the pot advancement. And then let's just come over here, and what I want to do is we're going to put our faucets onto our barrels like that. Doesn't look great, but it works. That's the main thing. And then we're going to put our channel down right there, and we're going to put our wooden basin setting right here. And then we'll put another channel down, so right there, and another one right there. And you need to right click these sides. So if we set this one down right here and we want it to go in this direction, we're going to click this side. So the water from these barrels will flow over in this direction. And of course none of these have any water because of reasons. Let me go grab my fluid bladder real quick. Okay, I went ahead and put some water into these with the fluid bladder, and then I went ahead and set up. I moved our drying racks over here. This is temporary. I just don't know exactly what I want here. And I actually don't even know that I want it here. I think I might put it on that wall of the totem. I don't know. And then I put a chest here so we can put stuff into there and grab some basic stuff. Okay, so then what we can do is, like, this barrel has a lot of water in it. And we can just right-click the faucet, and you can see the water is going to flow into that. And then if we click, say, this faucet, it's going to flow water, you know, off in this direction. This one, well, it doesn't have any water, but it'll do the same thing. Okay, and it's going to basically pour water into our basin, which I think this thing holds like 3 buckets worth or something like that. You could see it's dropped the water level in this barrel a decent amount, and it took like the 1 bucket that was in there. I think this can actually still hold like another bucket maybe. I don't know. But then if we wanted to process our hide, okay, so we take this and we run it with the work blade. And buffalo hide is great because it gives 6 hide per buffalo hide. And then what we can do, this takes salt and fluid. And if you recall, it only made 1 hide per salt and per bucket of fluid. With the wooden basin, it makes 3 for 1 salt and 1 bucket. Okay, so then what we can do is we can just take our hide, right click it into there, and then we can take our salt, drop it into there, and then all we have to do is just right click this, and we have to stir it 3 times, and then we get our hide. Okay, and then of course we still have to do the drying process, so we'll just throw that up there, and then while that's running, let me go ahead and get another, oh yeah, I can't do that. I'll go ahead and make a couple more of these drying racks. That way I can process 9 leather at a time. And you can see it uses up a little bit of water. It uses a bucket per operation. And so ideally what we would have then is we would have these barrels being filled up by the rain anytime that it rains, assuming that they work properly. And then whenever we come over here to make leather, you know, we can do our operations, wait for it to dry, and then be doing stuff here. And then once this is dry, do it again, like for the next step, and then we would have leather. And I'm going to go ahead and just put away this rawhide and this salt. The next step is the ground resin. Okay, so our first bits of leather have just finished. So then we can just drop these into there with the ground resin and stir, stir, stir. And there we go. There is our wet tanned hide. Then we can hang that up, and then after that's done, we'll have leather. Okay, while I was waiting for the leather to dry, I was putting some more water in this. So what I want to make, the reason I wanted to go ahead and get into that and what I wanted to make is I want to finally make a backpack. These are actually craftable in Age 0, but leather was kind of a pain, so I was like, well, we can just wait. So this is 1 leather cordage, and then we need 7 leather and a chest. Okay, for these starter iron backpack, or improved backpacks, I'm sorry. Alright, so we'll get our chest, and then the leather cordage, and then all the leather. And there we go. There is our tier 0 backpack. And I believe we can already make an upgrade for this, I think. Yeah, we can go ahead and upgrade these. So let's do that. We're going to need blank upgrades, which is, of course, more leather. Of course it is. I've got that. I got 2 pieces. I've got enough to craft one of the upgrades then. Okay. Well, let's get 3 pieces of this wood, and then we're going to need some sticks and blank upgrade, and then the wooden upgrade. Then the next tier is stone. So for that we're going to need, well, okay, it's going to take a little bit of effort here. Alright, so we can craft these together, and you can see now it's a tier 1 backpack. And next upgrade is stone. So once I craft up a little bit more leather, I can add another bar of storage on this. And I can't remember, does this work like iron backpacks? Okay, yeah, these backpacks doesn't look like you can put them on. Not until we get to iron backpacks. So, that's fine. That's okay. But anyways, that way we have, you know, some extra storage there, which I think is going to come in handy when we're out mining, because we're going to be picking stuff up and we want to carry things. And I have this horrible hoarding habit on here. If you couldn't tell, like rustic crafting, like look at all this plant fiber. I need to just craft it all down into twine. If I start running out of space, I will, but not for right now. But I will say that with our nice little storage setup, where everything's kind of organized, it's so much easier to keep everything put up and to quickly put up things and stuff. Okay, so let's start looking at ore, like ores in general. I would like to make the plumb line and the dowsing rod. So the plumb line is 2 bolts of string around a spindle. Spindle is just sticks. By the way, this little area up here, it's not going to be forever this way. Like, I'm not going to have to forever climb up a million ladders to get to our stuff. Like, right now, this is our storage area. Eventually, we're going to have, like, a little crafting area, and this is mainly going to be for, like, overstock stuff. But for right now, this kind of does the trick. Okay, I don't have any rocks left. Let me grab cobblestone. We can make 9 of them. And we'll make ourselves a plumb line. And we get our spindles back. Okay, so what we can do is we can right click and you can see our depth. So right now we're at Y85. So we kind of have a little bit of our XYZ coordinates coming into play. And then the next thing, the dowsing rod. Okay, we want to make these. Just the weak dowsing rod says this tool may only be used for ore in age 1 and below. Will detect unblocked ores in a 32 block straight line. Okay, so this is just 3 pieces of wood and a stick, or 2 sticks. And so there we go. There is our dowsing rod. And we got our prospecting goal. Okay, so now we can start looking into ores. Now right now, of course, the only pick we really have is the stone pickaxe. And hopefully that is good enough. I don't think there's anything else that we can make at the moment. And we can make like dark stone stuff, but we don't. It's pretty much the same thing. Okay, so they want us to go out and find coal. Find a surface sample and dig for coal. It's located between Y48 to 70. We also need tin. It's called cassiterite or tealite, which I found that, and I've also found coal before. And then we need to find copper, which is named malachite or azurite, and we have some of that nearby. Okay, so I have located all the metals that we need, actually. So let's go out and see if we can get our hands on some metals. By the way, I can't remember if I mentioned this, but those chili peppers that we planted last episode, if you eat those, they'll do like a heart of damage or so, but they will give you speed. So they're kind of useful. Okay, so right here we have azurite samples. And so I'm going to go ahead and just grab these, because that's like free copper. And I'm going to do the mining, though, back in behind this little cocoa bean setup. There's a ton of these samples around. They pretty much tell you, like, where your metals are. It's a good way to find stuff. So we know that copper is down here, so I'm going to start digging. And I don't know why I'm digging with my hands, but just because I want to. And I know that we're fairly close to the river, so I'm going to kind of wrap back around. I'm actually going to kind of dig down. Let's see, copper is supposed to be at... You know what, I didn't really bring torches with me. Let me go make some torches real quick before we do this. And I'll tell you what, I'm also going to bring some oak fences with us. And that's so we can make hitching posts for the horse. Which will come in handy. So let's get our horse. This just make travel a lot quicker. Because I am going to have to go out a little ways for like the coal deposits and stuff. Because like tea light's over there. Tea light's over there as well. We also have some coal. Right down there. The ore is really common. I actually have some ore on that side too, over where that sand is placed. I put a little, basically a little marker there so I remember where it's at because I cleaned up a lot of the samples over there. So we do have stuff over there as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and we'll just set down like a little hitching post and then we can connect our horse up to that. Just so he'll stick around while we go down and we do some mining. But from what I've noticed, the mine deposits are super common. There's so much around here, and I also know where zinc is, thanks to that bug that one time. And yeah, I mean, it's literally like, there's more than just that. Like, I know there's samples like right over here, there's samples over in here. That's a big salt deposit, by the way. That's a really cool like red rock mesa. And I know that there's samples over here. It's like you can't go a few feet without like tripping over the things. So, and there's still more like other kinds because I find those buggy rocks a lot, like ones that I don't know what they are yet. So they should be pretty common, I think. Alright, so we can use our plumb line and we can see where we're at. We're looking for copper at the moment, Y12 to 45, so we should be about to hit an area that's at least possible to have it. Oh, there we go. Right here, I am at Y39 at the moment, and we have found our azurite. So then we can mine this stuff up, and there we go. We got get to the copper. And from what I've heard, these veins are massive. Like, they are huge. As you can tell, I mean, this is huge. I know Severe found a 10 vein, and he mined all of it up, and he got like, I can't remember how much it was. It was like 12 stacks or something of metals, like over 12 stacks. So, I mean, they're huge. It'll take a long time, especially with this awesome pickaxe. It'll take a very, very long time to mine all this stuff up. Okay, I've been mining for a while. You can see I haven't even made a dent in this. It's just a wall of copper. Right down here was a clay deposit, so I couldn't pass that up. Because we're going to be using a lot of clay soon for decor and stuff once we get to the turntable. But I mean, this is just a solid, just chunk of copper. It's ridiculous. So I've gotten almost 2.5 stacks of copper. I'll come back and mine the rest of this later, just off camera. Oh, we got this book too. I totally forgot about that. The field manual. You can say this is going to tell us about the different metals. Talks about samples, talks about clusters. You could say coal, and this is adjusted so that it matches the features of, you know, the mod pack settings. You could say like Cinnabar, it says it can drop thermal expansion Cinnabar if installed, as well as extra utilities resonating redstone crystal. So if you're interested in finding all this stuff, you can kind of read through it. It will definitely come in handy. I'm going to put it into the backpack though. What is this? Mud clump. Oh, that's right, because I went through that mud. Okay, but anyways, I want to set out for, I think, coal and tin next. And I'm going to come back between episodes. I'm going to try to mine up. I'm going to try to pull a Severed and mine like all of that stuff up, but we'll see. It takes a while. It took, I mean, I didn't mine that long. Maybe 10 minutes or something, but about 10 minutes or 2.5 stacks of copper isn't too bad. I mean, it's all right there, so it's really easy to mine it up. Okay, and then we have tea light. I guess I'm going to go over to this vein. They could all be like one huge connected tea light vein, who knows. I should have started marking these sooner. I only recently started marking them. That's why the main ones are like right around the house, sort of. I mean, it's still a little bit of a jaunt to get over here. This one's actually in this swamp. But I hadn't been mining, or I hadn't been marking it the whole time. Of course, we couldn't, up until recently, we couldn't actually even see them. But I know there's a lot of those glitch rocks around. So, alright, so right in here-ish is the sample. I left one sample block. Or at least I thought I did. Maybe I pulled them all up and just marked it. I don't know. Anyways, let's go ahead and we'll tie our horse up. Don't wander off. Okay, so T-Light is Y8 to 68, and currently we are at Y58, so we could run into this at any point. We actually haven't used the dowsing rod, so we might use that here in just a moment. Just to make sure I'm in the right spot. It's roughly in this spot. Might have been a bad idea to pull the samples up, but hey, that's what the dowsing rod's for, so. Let's see, nothing of interest, up to 32 blocks. Nothing of interest, nothing of interest. Nothing of interest. Oh, there's a Corellium ore in that direction. I love this. The fact it doesn't take XP and you can just repair stuff from your inventory like this is so nice. Oh, here we go. Here's T-Light. Let me open this up. I can use all this gravel, so I don't have any qualms with taking it. Alright, so there is T-Light. And let's go ahead and grab ourselves a little bit of this. Error 404, heart not found. And once again, this is probably going to be a massive vein. Currently, we are at Y42, so we're really not having to dig too far down. Let's actually take a look with the dowsing rod. 6 T-Light, so it's like 6 thick. 8 in that direction, 2. Okay, it's not too massive, I don't think. This deposit, but it's possible there could be more deposits connected, you know, into this deposit. We'll just mine up a bit of it, so I'll be back here in a minute once I get at least a fair amount of this mined up. Okay, I've been mining a bit. You can see this vein is also just massive. It's just ridiculous. It's like how the you know, in SevTech, of course, the veins spawned like really big, but they weren't just like solid blocks of metal. These are just like solid, just big blocks of metal. This is what they are. But anyways, I mean, I've got over 2 stacks. That'll be good for a minute, and then I can come back later. Sure. Well, no, I don't have chunk loaders, so my stuff's not, my stuff wouldn't be filling up right now. Let's go ahead and take our hitching post. Okay, and then for the coal, it is just straight southeast. Oh, and I had a really good idea. Like, okay, in the farm, you'll notice that the water is still just open, or you will have noticed. We're not there right now, but in the farm, the water, the aqueducts are just open up. And I was wanting to put something there that we could walk over, right? I think I'm actually going to swim for this one. No, maybe not. You'll notice the wolves, like, don't approach me when I'm on my horse. Like, they will run away. It's really strange. Like, they don't like the horse at all. They're like, nope, don't want any of that. But anyways, in the farm, I was wanting to put something down to walk on. And originally, I was wanting to see the water. You know, I want it to be visible at least. That's how most of my armor breaks, I swear. I was hitting those, like, plants. But I wanted the water to be visible, so I didn't just like cover it with those like little mini slabs. But originally I was thinking, well, like I can do glass, but glass doesn't really fit our build right now. I don't feel like at the stage where it's at. I mean, we will eventually use glass, but not right now. And it didn't really fit the build. And I was trying to figure out what to put down there to cover the aqueduct so that we can like freely walk over it, but still see the water. And I just realized I'm gonna put those slats that we've been using for like shelving. I'm gonna put those down because those would fit perfectly. And you could walk over them, and it just looks like boards that are placed over the water. You know, I don't know if I'm going to place them vertically, or I think this is, yeah, coal sample. Did I just mark it in the wrong place, or is there another one? No, I just marked it a little bit off. But I think that'll work nicely. It is going to be expensive, though. Locate and mine coal. Well, apparently that counts. There's samples all over this, so I'm assuming this stuff is pretty dense once we get down here. So anyways, it's getting dark. I'm going to get down here. I'm trying not to use our sleeping bag too much if I can avoid it. Because it does have durability. So, though I will say it's still easier in this pack to get it than it is on Farming Valley, because Granny Catlin's like never open. It's so hard to buy a sleeping bag from her. Okay, Y48 to 70 is what we're looking for. And we're already about to hit 70. And there we go. There is our coal. Didn't take but a second. And once again, I'm going to go ahead and mine quite a bit of this stuff, because we're going to need it. And then I'll be back here in a bit. You can see Blood Magic's right there. We're not too far from starting Blood Magic, but probably maybe be next episode. Wait, what? Oh, okay, we have to enter an abyssal dark biome again for that to count. By the way, this quest right here, we're probably going to do it maybe next episode. If you noticed earlier, well, it was yesterday. By the time this video will be coming out, it'll be yesterday. I posted a video on how to beat that boss, and how to easily summon that boss, and how to easily beat that boss. So if you're having issues and you don't want to wait until probably next episode, then you can watch that video. It's really quick. It's like 10 minutes or something. So anyways, I'll be back in just a bit. I'm going to do a bit of mining here. Okay, I pulled a Sverd. I have mined up everything. I have mined it all up. 100% of the coal that was here. And what's neat is this actually connects over into like a little cave system that connects outside. Like below the mountain. Oh, there's a between lands thing right there. I don't want to mess with that just yet. I'm actually going to go ahead and grab my torches out of here. And it connects up in this direction too, so. But if you want to see the grand total of coal that we got, there we go. We got a whopping almost 10 stacks of coal. Plus I got 16 sulfur dust. So that seems to be like a fairly rare, as you can tell, fairly rare drop from mining coal. But you can get sulfur dust. And our horse is still hanging out. Cool. Cool. Okay, I'm going to remove this marker. So delete marker, and then we'll just erase that. Since we mined up all the coal, we don't really need it here anymore. And I did remove all of the deposits up here. That's something that we're trying to keep, you know, a thing on the server, is remove all the coal deposit, or all the deposits that you have whenever you mine up a node. So that way, you know, someone doesn't come across the deposit and then go mining trying to find, you know, whatever the given resource is, and then waste a bunch of time trying to find something that's not actually there. So now, you know, I don't know for sure if there's only one deposit per like area though. So I know where this is at. I can pretty easily find this. So if I find that, you know, I might look around whenever I'm mining like the copper node, since it's right there next to the base, and see if like maybe there's other deposits there. Just out of curiosity, and then if I do come across more, then I might come back here and gather up more coal. But regardless, I think we're going to be good on coal for a little while. Okay, so now that we've got all of our copper and our tin and all this good stuff, let's go ahead and start using it. And we can finally use the melter and the heater. We can finally use it. So I'm going to put the heater like right there. You can see solid fuel goes into this, and then we'll put our porcelain melter right there. This may get moved. This is just for right now. And then what I want to do, finally get that out of my inventory. I've been holding on to it just because. I've been holding on to it like it's really precious. Then we're going to need to get ourselves a basin. So, porcelain casting basin. So we're going to need 7 porcelain bricks, and I believe another 3 for the faucet. So once again, back to the millstone. Before too terribly long, we can make automatic kinetic energy, which is going to be nice. And actually, I guess while I'm doing this, one thing I should probably do is put a little bit of coal into this. And I guess we can put all of it. That'd be fine. And I guess we'll start with copper. And tin. Yeah. Okay. And we'll just throw our copper into there. I should probably get a hopper. Let me go make a hopper. Yeah, I'll go make a hopper real quick. Alright, so we'll just put a hopper right there, and then if we were to put our chest, say right there, you can see it's slowly burning through some coal, and it's cooking up this copper. Okay, so the first bit of copper's done. There's 3 ingots in there. So then what we can do is we can put this copper into here, and it's going to keep filling it into this. And you can actually see and access the heater down below from here as well. And I'm thinking it would maybe be worth doing additional setups of these. The only thing is it does require the shadow gems. They're not too hard to go and farm, but I don't know. I don't know if it's really worth the, because I mean with the hopper, I mean this is pretty much automatic. So okay, now I've got 1 block of copper in there, so I went ahead and pulled the copper out, and I'm cooking up a little bit of tin. You'll notice the tin's a lot quicker to cook up than the copper was. And we got enough porcelain now to make our casting basin. So we'll go ahead and get that. And we'll set this down like right here. We'll be fine. Then I'm just waiting on the rest of that porcelain to get cooked up. There is our porcelain faucet. Okay, so we'll put this down on our melter and go ahead and start pouring that liquid out to get ourselves a block of copper. Okay, and there is our very first block of metal. We got ourselves a block of copper. Now to break this down, we're going to have to make the anvil. The stone anvil. And we're also going to have to make a stone mallet as well. So let's go ahead and right here, these 2 things. So smooth stone and stone slabs and smooth stone and stick. Sounds good. I've got a bunch of smooth stone in here. I need to start working up there, like bringing this up, but to be fair, like I said, I worked on the garden the whole time between episodes. So stone anvil and there we go. Anvil Levine. And we'll get our stone mallet. Oh, they actually gave us a stone mallet. My bad. So we got 2 of them. That's fine. They're cheap, so it's not like it's a problem or anything. And we can put this down and put our block of copper onto there. And then what we can do is smash it. And we got ourselves 9 copper ingots. Okay. And we've got a block of 10 right here, so we'll go ahead and grab that. And then let me get another... I'm just going to do this like 1 block at a time, I think. So go ahead and get some more copper being made. That will not produce alloys, by the way. Alright, and we got our 10 block. There we go. And there's 9 10 ingots. Alright, and then they want us to make an alloy kiln in order to make bronze. We're going to go ahead and do this, and then I know it's getting pretty close to wrapping up point. I know it's actually a little bit over, but I wanted to get this stuff knocked out today. So we're going to need 2 bricks and 2... It's either... you can use sandstone or sand, or... I believe you can use sand, or... It has to be sandstone. Red sandstone or regular sandstone. That's fine. I've got a bunch of sand up there. We are going to need 8 kiln bricks, which is just 8 bricks and 8 sandstone, so it's really not terribly expensive. And then we're also going to need an engineer's hammer. I don't think they're going to give us one, because I think we have to build it for it to count, but I'm not for sure. There is our engineer's hammer. Woot. See, I want to build like a little dedicated like metals workshop that's like made out of stone and has like, I don't know, a kiln set up, and not the grill. That's going to go in like a little dedicated cooking area, but then also the melter and the anvil. But I got to figure out exactly where I want it and everything. I haven't thought that far ahead. I've been working on the garden once again. So, anyways, there is our 8 kiln bricks, and we got the all mixed up advancement. And then what we can do is we can just set this thing down and put it over here. This is like our temporary little metalwork area. And just make a little 2x2 structure and smack it with the engineer's hammer. And there we go. We have our kiln. And then what we can do is we can take, and I guess I'm going to go ahead and do like maybe 5 of these to start with. And then we're going to need to get ourselves, well, I've got coal right here. Drop that in there, and it's going to start producing bronze. Okay, so we're starting to get a bit of bronze built up, so let's go ahead and grab that, and we got the brains over bronze. Now what's interesting is you can see that we're coming up on blood magic and abyssal craft. So that's what we're going to be working on. That's what we're going to be working on next episode. We do have these little quests back here. These things, the dung pipe is really useful, but I don't have right now. I mean, I guess I could put it with the. We probably will use it once we get over to the metal workshop. I may start working on that building between episodes, because we can use it for things like the kiln and stuff. But as far as the barrels, I don't have any real use for those. Also the bed, I'm pretty happy with the TP. We will make that and just have it in the tower somewhere, I guess, or in the totem, I mean. But those 3 things I don't have particular use for them right this second. But yeah, so next episode we'll work on abyssal craft and blood magic. But one thing I do want to do is we can use this anvil. Oops. Don't want to pound my shovel apart. We can use this anvil to craft ourselves plates. Okay, so this first bit of bronze, I think the most important thing that we need to get. If you look at my character, I'm rocking some awesome armor right now, which is pretty much nothing. So I would like to fix that, and especially as we're getting into abyssal craft, we will want some armor. So we can start making ourselves some bronze armor. We got 12 more bronze. This stuff's really not that expensive, especially since the nodes. I mean, the only node that was really far away for us was the coal, and I mined it all up. So, I mean, we've got tin and copper right in our base, and I actually can't remember what it is that's over here. Let me pop down there and look, actually. I want to say that it's copper. Yeah, azurite. So we got more copper right beneath here. I could definitely say that making that second hammer, not a problem whatsoever. We will definitely need it. This is something I don't understand why this is a thing. Like, there's a chisel, and it's like teasing me. Like, oh look, you can make a chisel. It says stage 1, but it says you do not know how to use this yet. You need stage 2 first. There's like in-game crafting right here. singularities and such. Yeah, it looks like the only sword that's better in this age is the black quartz. Maybe the Corellium sword. Yeah, it's 9. Is it really 9 attack? I mean, that's a little ways, I guess, into Abyssal Craft, but it's really not... I don't know. I'm not going to say much because it could be totally different in this pack. And I know I get comments all the time about the axe. I know the axe is higher damage, but the sword is higher DPS. So for most situations, unless you're one-shotting something, I like the sword more because, you know, it hits faster. It's 5 damage and it hits at double the speed of the axe. The axe is 9 damage. It comes out to be more damage. Okay, final piece right here. Bronze boots. And goodbye leather boots. Okay, so we are now in full bronze armor. Awesome. So, I know it's about wrapping up point. We did hit the bronze era, I feel like, today. I mean, this is like the bronze age. We're moving into bronze, which is great. Next episode, we'll start into some of the magical mods. Blood Magic and Abyssal Craft. We may clean up these little things. And we'll also fight Baycock. And we've done this already, but what happened was before it would count the Corellium Swamp. It was changed in the patch so that it doesn't count the Corellium Swamp. So I guess it took away our advancement. Even though we've been into a Darklands biome, we're going to have to do it again for that to count. So we'll just do that as soon as we happen to come, you know, go do one. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button. And go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay up to date with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.